up, guys? This is Jeron with Savage Gym. Today I want to talk to you about what you really need to get stronger. And this has come about because I've had a lot of conversations lately about lifting gear and about supplements and about what shoes you need to wear, whether you need a 3/4 inch heel, whether you need a 1/2 inch heel, whether you should squat in chucks, or whether you should get new Reebok power shoes, or whether you need SBD knee sleeves, slingshot knee sleeves, Ray-Ban knee sleeves, or no knee sleeves at all, or whether you should use wraps, or you should do Iron Rebel wraps or other wraps. And this is a really kind of unfortunate place for people's minds to be, because it means that we've bought into the consumerism of strength training. Now, I'm not trying to be anti-buying gear. I use lifting gear. There's great companies out there that have done a lot for the sport in recent times. There's more people getting involved in strength training now than ever, and a lot of that is because we finally have a way of making money in doing this, and there's companies that are putting money into the sport and bringing attention to the lifters that are training in this sport, and that's a great thing, because anytime we can get somebody involved in strength training, it's going to make their life better. And so I'm not here to say that all of these things are negative. All I'm trying to say is that attention has moved away from the things that are really important and really necessary to train and grow stronger and get the most out of your pursuit of strength, and it's shifted towards what do you need to buy. And you can see this in the comments on Instagram. People will see you lift and everybody, you know, oh, that's awesome. What shoes are you wearing so I can go buy those same shoes to get stronger? And this is completely ass backwards. It doesn't make any sense. If we look back to the people that pioneered the sport and were some of the strongest lifters that have ever walked this planet, guys like Ed Cohn, guys like Kurt Karwoski, guys like Doyle Kennedy, they didn't have expensive lifting gear. They had shit that pales to what we have today, yet half of those records stood for 20, 30 years and are just now being beat because we've got better drugs and equipment. And not once do you hear people from that generation of lifters complaining about not having the right squat shoes or not having the right knee wraps. All they did is focus on getting stronger. Their programming wasn't super complicated. They tried to get a little bit heavier each week, and they went in and put in work. And that's what's being lost right now with all of the influx of new products and lifting gear and supplements. Everybody is focused on what they need to buy and what they need to be wearing, rather than the effort they need to be putting forth and which direction to steer their training. And I think this really comes down to reclaiming, or at least recognizing, two important aspects to being able to grow stronger and become a better person through your strength training. And this is going to come down to developing a strong mindset and living your life with strong habits. With regard to your mindset, the first piece is going to be developing courage. Now, courage is the ability to take action in the presence of fear. And if you think a lot about, you know, when we're taken outside of our comfort zone with strength training, whether it's trying to hit a heavy lift or hit, you know, a PR of some sort, there's an element of fear there. And in order for you to become stronger and actually achieve that goal, you have to be able to look that fear directly in the eye and still take action and still do the steps that you have practiced in your training to do. This requires a whole lot of courage, and this is something that we practice in the gym and carries over into the rest of your life. The next piece is going to be developing meekness. Now, you don't hear this a lot. The first time I heard the word meekness was in the Bible, but the way I kind of identify meekness is the ability to utilize and call upon controlled aggression and strength. Now, this isn't running around bashing your head on the wall. It's not screaming and grunting and yelling and swearing. It's the ability to have the strength that you've developed and practiced, have confidence in that strength, and know when and how to best utilize it to your advantage. This is important in strength training because you have to, over the course of time, develop a level of confidence in the work and the effort that you've put forth in your training and allow that to manifest itself on the platform. And the rest of your life, this comes down to developing the habits of strength and really living with them and having that as a part of your sense of self and your character. Next important piece for developing strength is going to be humility, because it is impossible for you to be open to learning the things that you need to learn to grow stronger without being able to humble yourself and admit that you don't already know that information and need help of somebody who does. The last piece is going to be patience, because you don't develop strength in 6 weeks. You don't develop it in 12 weeks. You don't develop it in 2 years. You develop it in decade after decade of consistent hard work and toil and turmoil and frustration and getting beat down and being injured and being stagnant, and still being able to apply the courage and the meekness and the patience and the humility over an extended period of time. You then have to look into the habits of being strong. The first, and what I believe is the most important, is the habit of acting with integrity. Do what you say you're going to set out to do, and do it consistently without having to be reminded, without having to be pressured or having your hand held or being motivated constantly. A lot of times you're not going to be motivated. Most of the time you're not going to be motivated. You're not going to want to get out of bed. You're not going to want to train. You're not going to want to follow nutrition. And you know what? You don't have to. Nobody's making you do this. This is something that you chose to do for yourself. And the world doesn't owe it to you for you to be strong. You develop these things by doing a lot of shit that you don't enjoy doing for a long period of time. And you have to have faith in the process enough to believe that what you're going to gain down the road that you can't see right now is going to be worth the effort that you put in. The next strong habit is going to be consistency. All of these different things that we've talked about have to be done for a really long period of time. We're talking the rest of your life. And if you nail all of these habits and all of these mindset things for 3 weeks, you're never going to accomplish anything, because that's not enough time for you to actually grow this character and to grow stronger. Everyone can stay consistent for a few weeks. This is why things like 21-day fixes or juice cleanses or multi-level marketing businesses, where people are promised riches and independence and being able to be their own boss and be a business owner by following 2 simple steps. That's why these things never work for most people, because there's no commitment and they go into it believing that things are going to come quickly or come easily. This has been one of the most long-standing lessons I've had in my life after having been self-employed now for close to 10 years. This is really fucking hard work. It's difficult more often than it's easy, and it's hard more often than it's fun. And this is something that's completely missing from my generation of people, because we expect everything to be handed to us, or for it to be easy, or for it to come quickly. And this just really isn't the case. In business, in relationships, in training, it's the same thing. It all takes hard work done over a long period of time. Now, the last aspect of developing strong habits, I believe, is developing into a role of leadership. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to be a public speaker, or you have to be a coach, or be a trainer, or be a mentor in a formal role. What I mean by leadership is taking these habits that you've developed and practice, and taking the character that you've developed by pursuing strength and using them to help someone else along that same journey. We have an obligation to take the things that we learn and the character that we develop and use it to help other people. By doing so, not only do we bless that person that we're mentoring, but we also help further develop our own character and our own strength by being able to communicate it and share it with others. Now, I know this has kind of gone off on a rant and on a tangent, but hopefully this helps you realize that when it comes down to it, if you're looking to get stronger, you need to be looking inside of yourself instead of looking to products and looking to things outside of yourself. Because if it's something that you really want to pursue and that you really want to become, you will find a way to get stronger. You can go to a 24-hour fitness, use shitty bars and shitty racks, and still accomplish great things. You don't need a monolift, you don't need $600 squat bars, you don't need $200 squat shoes, and you don't need knee sleeves and wrist wraps to get stronger. They're great, but don't let not having those things be an excuse for you not to take action.